Hi everybody, this is Pam with Jesusjunkjournals, and we are going to start on the Wisdom Journal, which is also the or folio. It's the one that has all the pieces and parts and opens up all crazy ways. So I've got this laying here because I'm going to tear it open and use the chipboard off of it. Normally, you know, I don't do the cover until last, but this time we're going to build a base to start with. So we're going to do the math at the beginning. And this is the only math you'll have to do. So what you're going to want are, if you're going to use chipboard like on a cereal box, you're going to want 4 pieces of cardboard, and you want to cut them 8 inches by 5.5. You want 4 of those. And then we want 4 pieces that are 2 inches by 8 inches. Okay? So you want 4 of those. And that's it. So let's cut these out, and then I'll come back and show you what we're going to do with them. All right, I've got my pieces cut out. The Coke box feels thicker. I don't know, feels like it's stronger than the cereal box. So I'm going to make sure that I put 1 with 1, 1 with 1. And then the same with these pieces. I'm going to put a piece of what I think is thicker cardboard with the thinner cardboard. And so now what we're going to do is we're just going to glue these pieces together. And I'm going to use Elmer's glue, white glue. And when you cut these apart, it's good to line them up and just check them against each other and make sure there's no big discrepancies. It's just kind of a way to check, make sure you measured everything right. I've trimmed a couple of these back because one was longer than the other, and I compared it to the ruler to make sure that I was doing it right. So just double check yourself, make sure everything's squared up and straight pretty much. I mean, it doesn't have to be really completely perfect, but okay. So I got tired of messing around with my Elmer's glue bottle, so I am going to do this and hopefully get my glue where I want it to be. And then I'm going to put weights on them, like a big stack of books, and let them finish drying. Okay. Okay, so I will be back as soon as these are dry. I thought I'd come on here and tell you that while I was waiting for those to dry, I went ahead and picked up the scriptures, used my paper trimmer, and trimmed them down. And I trimmed off as much as I could because I wanted them to be as small as possible. They'll probably end up getting folded in half, and that's fine. So there's that much thickness. So if you fold them in half, it's going to add that much thickness. And then you're going to have your journal and whatever else you add to it. So that's something else you can be working on. Okay, so I'm going to go back and wait till this dries. Okay. So these are dry, and so I've lined them up. So this would be like the front of the book, front of the journal, the spine, the back of the journal, and then this flap. So I'm going to take masking tape and glue and attach those to each other. So I'm going to back the glue up with some white glue, just make sure it holds. And I want them to be like just a little bit apart, just so that it will fold nicely. So just put a little bit of a gap And I know I'm going to have to move those as I go. So I've just got this big wide masking tape from the hardware store, or from Walmart. And I'm going to glue that. Make sure I've got that. I bumped it, so I'm trying to put a little bit of a gap there. And over here. And a little bit of a gap. And then I'm going to flip it over and do the same side on the other side. Oh my goodness. Trim your tape off. Wow, that masking tape is some strong stuff now. Okay. All right, so flip it over, put some glue. Okay, so there is your framework. That's what we're going to build on. And so that needs to dry. And then on this is the flap or tab down here. I'm going to cut an angle. It doesn't matter, like I'm just going to cut a little bit off of each end. And then we are ready to start adding the pieces from the kit. But I wanted to say that before you can do that, you need to take either washi tape, or if you want to, you could just take book pages and cut strips of those. But you need to cover all of the edges with either washi tape or some sort of paper. I'm going to do that, and then I will come back and show you what I did. Okay, I can't remember if I need to worry. I don't think I need to worry about the flap. So I think I've got all my bases covered, all my edges covered with washi tape. So now what I'm going to do, and I just kind of thought of this today, I'm going to cut a piece of the baby quilt liner that I always use for my covers. You could also use a piece of felt. And I hope I don't regret this, but I'm going to cut a piece of this on the front and back and just let it, hopefully it'll give it a little bit of heft and so that it'll pad it out just a little bit. Let's see if this is small enough. Might need to be trimmed. Yeah, it's going to need to be trimmed just a little bit. Okay, so I think that's about the size I want, so I'm just going to cut another piece for the back cover. So that's going to go there and there. And I'm going to trim this one down just a little bit because it's crooked. And I need, all right, and I know it's not straight, but I think all I want is something that's going to kind of lift the paper up a little bit and get all my washi tape out of the way. Okay, so I'm going to use Fabri-Tac and glue this down. Just kind of hold it in place. This is curling up, so I'm going to put some down here. And so now we're ready for our first piece from the kit, and that is going to be the spine. And I'm going to ink it. And actually, this edge and this edge aren't going to show. It's really just this top and bottom edge that will show because it's going to glue down. And then we're going to glue other paper over the top of it. So I'm going to actually use my paper glue, my art glitter glue. And put this on the spine and sort of center it because it's got paper that goes underneath the other parts. So just kind of eyeball it. And I'm going to take it and bend it, fold it around this and this. And now now that I know where my folds are, I'm gonna put, and that's popping out, but I'm gonna put some Fabri-Tac over here. Okay. Okay, so I'm going to put this back on, line up where the folds are, and then fold it because you want to make sure if you fold it real tight, flat, it won't wrap around the corner. So you want to make sure you've got it folded when you glue it. Okay, got that glued. So now we're going to glue I'm going to go ahead and sort of lay it flat, so to speak. There's still some play in there, so it will fold. I inked these two pieces. This is the cover and this is the back. And so now these are ready to glue on. So I am going to put this glue here, and then I'm going to put some Fabri-Tac in the middle so it can stick to that cotton. And if it pulls away, we can always go back later and put some glue in it and make it lay down flat. So, okay, so there's that. And so you just line it up with this edge over here. And it should line up with the fold pretty well. And the same with the back cover. Let's see, this goes on the edge. And then fabric tack in the middle. And make sure it's right side up. And line it up with the fold edge over here. And make sure it goes from top to bottom. I missed it actually. So I'm going to pull it back up. Okay. All right, so there is the very first part of the kit being used. And I am going to stop with that. And actually, I'm wondering, okay, I'm going to stop there and let that dry. And then I'm going to come back. We'll come back on the next video and pick up from there. So I think that's given you plenty to do if you're going to play along and make yours while I make mine. So thanks for watching. I hope you enjoyed it. And if you did, click the like button, please. Think about subscribing. And I will be back on the next video. Bye-bye.